What has the show meant to you over the years?
It's meant 5 a.m. starts and stiff collars that do your neck in, and a lot of fun people and an amazing experience. So from bad to good.
Has it been an emotional last series? What's the atmosphere been like behind set?
Frankly, it's just been a bit of a slog because the crew works phenomenally hard. You know, we're in the last week of filming now, and they've been working for 6 months flat out. And we actors, we get things like days off. They don't really. So I feel for them. Everyone's quite tired, but we've had. I shot my last scene a couple of days ago, and that was I wouldn't say emotional. It was really reflective. The fact that Michelle and I, she'd done her first scene. We'd done our first scene together back in 2010, and here we are doing our last scene together. We're still pals, so that's a testament to something. Probably it has been a very, very happy set. It's about 42 of us who've done every single episode. That's actors and crew, and we've formed quite a special little bond over these years, as you would expect. And it'll feel strange, I think, particularly next February when we're not getting into our thermals and going up to freezing cold Highclere Castle and starting again. So it hasn't sunk in yet, but it will.
We understand Downton Abbey's on its uppers a little bit this year. Can you tell us a little bit what that means for Robert and the family?
Well, we pick up in 1925, and we get news that a neighbour of ours is having to sell up his estate, and we go to visit him, and we see that the house literally, selling up the family silver and everything, and it's a real wake-up call for Robert and the family. And so there's talk of rationalisation and how do we, with the disparity between costs and income, how do we make ends meet, and what do we do, in order so that we don't end up having to fracture and sell everything. So that's really the hair that is set running in Robert's story, so from the beginning of Series 6.
There's a bit of a set too between Cora and Violet. Does he get involved in that between wife and mother-in-law? It's not a good place to be, is it?
Well, but never step between a mother and her daughter-in-law if there's a spat going on. Robert tries to sit on the fence for as long as he possibly can, because yes, there is this big there's this thing in the village that is going to cause friction, and there are definitely two camps, and Robert is stuck in the middle trying to keep his mother sweet and his wife sweet. I think a lot of viewers will recognise that feeling.
You, way back when you were, first on the lawn of Highclere Castle and filming, did you think then that this was something special, or did that come later?
I think it felt extremely happy doing that first series, and I think the impact of it really only began to dawn on me when about episode 4, after the first episode went out, the ratings went up, which is very unusual. Normally they drop after all the publicity has died down. So that was a surprise. And then hearing a 10-year-old say they were they didn't like Thomas or something. I thought, hang on, you're 10, you're watching Downton. I didn't expect that. And we gradually realised that the range of people, both demographically, just the grannies sitting with their grandchildren and everyone in between watching it together, and that doesn't happen very often. And so that I think really by the time we had to start pulling paparazzi out of trees in the second year, then you know that you're in something that's special if they want to destroy storylines that badly.
Obviously you can't tell us how it ends, we wouldn't want to know, but do you think when it goes out on Christmas Day there will be a sense of jubilation, or will there be sadness?
All those things, all of the above. It's Julian has this capacity, and this is one of the reasons that the show has been so captivating for people, is that he has the ability to write great melodrama and then turn it on a sixpence, so you're laughing out loud, and then got a lump in your throat. So that sense of roller coaster is there throughout this series, and particularly in the final episode.
If you weren't playing Robert, what other character would you like to play?
I suppose, I'm sure others have said this, my favourite acting character is Molesley, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I adore Molesley, particularly because Kevin is such a genius actor, and what started as almost an incidental part has grown into a really central part as part of the ensemble, and that's all testament to Kevin, who found such wit and humour and pathos in this adorable character. I'm very fond of him.